Hi friends, on this day in this video we are going to study the basics of C programming. Now the things what we are going to study are introduction to C programming, variable concept, keywords, data types and constants. Only we are going to restrict in this video only up to these topics. Let us see the first one, programming introduction, that is C programming introduction. A C programming language was devised or developed or created in 1970s by Dennis M. Ritchie, an employee from Bell AT&T Laboratories. He was working on Unix operating system where he first introduced the basic combined programming language, called as BCPL. Then he developed some features, then he started naming it as basic. Then he changed the name, he added some more features like variable, memory, etc., and he named it as C language. Now his birth was in 1941 and he expired in 2011. Now let us see. Generally in a computer what we are going to do is only two operations, that is either you are going to read the data from a memory location or write the data onto a memory location, reading or writing. So the operations that are performed on any memory is storing or retrieving. In other words, that is reading and writing or storing or retrieving a value we need from memory. Now memory in C programming will be allocated by a compiler or an operating system. You can even say the memory will be allocated by operating system, because operating system is going to call the main function when you execute the program. Or some books says that memory in C programming will be allocated by a compiler, DC compiler, or maybe a dev C+ compiler, or maybe a GCC compiler, whatever the compiler you use for executing a program. Whenever the memory will be allocated, whenever you declare a variable and that variable declarations gets executed. Now generally if you speak about variables or the content of memory, we are having mainly two types. The content of memory will be having either numbers or characters, only two possibilities. We are not going to deal with graphics, animations in C language as of now. We deal with only numbers or characters. Even if you say it is numbers, again numbers are of two types, decimal point and without decimal point. A number may be having 10.5. if I'm having 10.5, it is called as a decimal point. If I don't have 0.5, means only I'm having 10, so that is called as without point or integer, in other words. So int without decimal point, suppose if I'm declaring a variable, then a box will be created. That box is called as memory, and in that box we are going to store 1000 for example. Then it is integer because it don't have a decimal point. Suppose it is having a decimal point, then we are going to call such a value as float. If there is no decimal, then it is integer. If there is a decimal point, it is a float value. How it represents, for example, 10.50 is a float because 0.50 is there, then it is float. If there is no point, no in the value of the variable, then it is integer. Then the rest is, and anything written in between single quotes is called as a character. You may write 0 in single quotes is called as a character. Alphabet A in single quotes is called a character. It may be capital A, small a, it may be a dollar symbol, underscore symbol, any special symbol. Okay, whatever is written inside single quotes is called as a character, only one. For example, we are writing A in a box is called as character over there. Now let us see what is a variable. A variable is a name given to a memory location that has unique address. Every computer will have memory, and every memory's tiniest part is either a value 0 or value 1. For example, here I am showing value 1. A computer either stores value 0 or it is going to store a value 1. Now suppose my computer, you might have heard that it is a 64-bit operating system, it is a 30-bit, 32-bit computer, or 8-bit computer, or 128-bit computer. The maximum is 128 what we are having in the present era. Yes, for example, if it is a 64-bit computer, now for this single memory location where you are going to store either a value 1 or a value 0, will be having 64 bits of address. Now here you can see a huge number, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I have, for our understanding, I have taken 1 to 8 and repeated for number of times, and totally it is 64 bit. Now for a single memory location it is having this much huge address, and for a developer it is very tough to recollect this address. So what we are going to do, instead of recollecting this address for a single variable which is having some address, so what you are going to do is you are going to either store a value 1 or a value 0. Now at this address you are going to store the content of a variable. So what you are going to do here is you are going to give a name to this memory location or address. Instead of recollecting this whole address, you are going to give a name to this memory location. Now if suppose what we are going to do is, if my computer is 64 bit, then these many number of memory locations can be addressable. So what is the formula I have written? Just have a look. Here I have given 2 raised to the power of 64. Can you see this one? 2 power 64. So finally I am getting this number. These many memory locations can be given address if it is a 64 bit computer. Let us come back to the slide. So what is a variable? A variable is a name given to a memory location that has a unique address and is capable of holding a value. Means at that address you are going to store a value. Now let us declare a variable. So the syntax of declaration is, first one is data type followed by a space, then followed by a variable name. In some books you may even find identifier here, a variable name or identifier. The identifier represents how the identity of a memory location. An identifier specifies the identity of a memory location, how we are going to call a memory location. Means it is a given, it is having a name, it is having a unique address, etc. Now let us see one example. Now integer a means I am declaring a memory location, a box whose name is a. It is having some unique address, and the data which I am going to store in it is related to integer without a decimal point, and it is not a character. Let's see another example. For example, now here what we are doing, character b is equal to x. Means what? I am declaring a character variable, means a box will be created by name b, and we are going to store value x in it. Okay, in single quotes we are giving. So this is character b is declaration, equal to x is assignment. In the above one, integer a is only declaration, there is no assignment. Next line, character b is equal to x. Let us see the next one. Now float c is equal to 10.5. Now c is a variable, a box which is having value 10.5, and it is of type float. Means we are declaring a float variable. Now it depends on the value whether to create it as an integer or character or float. What is the value you are going to store in that particular memory location? If it is in single quotes, then you are going to use character. If it is a number without floating point, then it is integer. If it is having a float point, then it is float, or a decimal point, it is a float. Okay, depends on the value you are going to store in the memory location. So this is memory. As we said, a is a box, it don't have any value, we didn't assign it, only declaration. So one memory location will be created. In some books you may even find a default value or a garbage value, some value which is not created by us, may be there. Next one, character b is equal to x. So b is the memory location where you are having value as, now here you can see b x. Means for this character x you are going to create character b is equal to x. Now this is the memory allocated. For float c, say for float c is equal to 10.5, here we are going to create 10.5, one memory location called as c with 10.5 as the value. Okay, yeah, let us see the next one. Rules for naming a variable or identifier. What are the naming convention rules? You are giving a name. For example, some names will have predefined meaning. Some names will have predefined meaning. Some good names may be there, some bad names may be there. Now whenever you are naming a child or a dog or a pet, you are not going to give some names which are illegal. For example, we will be having Rakshasas. In Hindu, Ism will be having Rakshasas. The names of the Rakshasas will not be given to the children. In the same manner, in Muslims also, we are having some bad names. You are not going to give the bad names like Shaitan, etc. In the same manner, whenever you are creating a name for a variable, you are giving a name for a variable, we are having some rules. What are the rules? Let us see. First one, characters that are allowed while giving a name. First one is underscore. You can give an underscore in the name. Capital letters A to Z, small letters A to Z, digits 0 to 9. These are allowed characters, but not in the exact sequence. Blanks and commas are not allowed. No special symbols are allowed except underscore. Then first character should be an alphabet or underscore. This is another rule. The first character of the variable name must not be a number or any special symbol except it is an underscore or an alphabet. The variable name should not be reserved word or a keyword. Reserved word means which is having inbuilt meaning. What are the keywords we are going to study? A reserved word or a keyword. And C is case sensitive, where small case letters are different and capital case letters are different. Now, whenever you give a name to a variable, underscore can be there, capital A to Z may be there, small a to Z may be there, 0 to 9 may be there, but the first alphabet must be a character or underscore, and no spaces, no special symbols are allowed except underscore. Next, let us see the keywords. In C, we are having totally 32 keywords, means reserved words which are having some inbuilt meaning. These names must not be given as variable names. If you want to give, you can give as capital letters, not small case letters. Now, syntax of, now let us see what are the different keywords we are having. These are the 32. You can pause the video, you can note down. These should not be given as variable names. Though you want to give, make it a capital letter, starting on maybe the whole you wish. Next, let us see the data types. Now, data type represent what type of data you are going to store in that memory location is called as data type. Used to specify the type of data. You are going to create a memory location. In that box, you are going to store a value. What type of value? Is it a character? It is a number with a decimal point or without a decimal point? What is the range? Is it signed, unsigned? All this comes under type of the data or a data type. Now, this is the table related to data type. This is the table related to data type. First, we are having 4 different types of data types. One is basic data type. Basic data type is integer, character and float. Basic data types are integer, character, float and double. Next, we are having derived data types, arrays, pointers, structures and unions. Means you are going to create using these built-in data types or basic data types, you are going to create new data types called as derived data types. Basic are only 4 broadly classified. Again, they are having some other types also. Next one is enumerated data type, where you will be having values for each and every value, enum value. Next, void data type. Void means nothing. Okay. Broadly speaking, there are only 2 types of data types. One is called as basic data type, another one is called as derived data type. Next, what are the basic data types? These are some of the basic data types. You can pause the video, you can note down all these things. What is the size with respect to bytes, and what is the range from starting point to my negative point, last maximum value. Let us see what is a constant. Constant means throughout the program the value is not going to change. An identifier can be declared as a constant, or a variable can be declared as a constant. To do so, you are going to use const keyword while declaring the variable itself, not throughout the program. Next. These are the 2 types of examples. You can use const int cost is equal to 20, or int const. The data type may be first, the data type may be second, but const is the keyword which is going to make the variable value as constant. Throughout the program, you can't modify cost variable, cost variable. You can't write cost is equal to cost plus 1 or cost is equal to cost minus 1, or you are not going to store a value like that. You can't modify. At the time of declaration itself, you need to give the value, and that is fixed. For example, pi value is there. Pi is equal to 3.1415. This value can be kept as constant. The value of constant cannot be changed in the program. If you try to change it, it will give an error. So here In other books we are also having 20. You can see 20 as a whole, as a single value. Don't concentrate on this example. Suppose I am having 10 is called as integer constant. If I am having 10.5, then 10.5 is called as float constant. Then if you are having alphabet A in single quotes, then A is called as a character constant. If some text is there, Ali, in double quotes, then it is called as a string constant. Okay, these are also constants, but if you want to declare a variable as constant, you are going to follow this method. One of this method, many are there, macros are there. So const can be either before the data type or after the data type. That's it guys in this video. Please subscribe to my channel and inform to your friends regarding this channel.